Howdy everyone, this is LockNutz, and you're watching a map tour of Dunalka by strauts6. Hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens. Howdy, 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 how are you guys doing today? Oh my goodness, I tell you what, today we get to go on a map tour of Dunalka by strauts6. Now this little bad mamma jam is 167.69 megabytes to download and is currently only for PC and console. Now this little bad mamma jamma is a 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer map. That's what they're saying. And there are 100 toys for collectibles in here. And here's an example of one of the toys. Let's go ahead and collect that. Perfect. $1,000 per. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Now this map right here, it has ponds and rivers in there, and you can go ahead and fill up all your equipment in there. Or I should say, you can go and fill up your water tanks in those all those different bodies of water, so that's pretty slick. Now, one of the things that we go ahead and do here is we start off on new farmer mode. That way you guys know what you get when you start off on new farmer mode. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the equipment that you're going to start off with. All right, here we go. This is the equipment you're going to start off with. This vehicle right here, it's a truck. I bought that so that we could go ahead and drive around on the map. You don't actually start off with this one. But with that being said, let's take a look at what you do start off with. And you do start off with a 4755 John Deere, not too shabby at all. Harvesters wise, you get yourself a Dutzfar top liner along with the Dutzfar grain header. Trailers wise, you start off with one trailer, one Rab cultivator, one Nordstein seeder, and one weight. So not too shabby. Not a ton of stuff to start off with, but let's face it, when you're farming, you don't need everything right off the bat. This is a good start to get yourself rocking and rolling. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the map that you'll be rocking and rolling on. All right, everyone, here is the map, and as you can see, it's relatively big, got a lot of fields in here, 101 numbered fields to be exact, but there are some plots in here spread throughout that you can go ahead and purchase. Now, taking a look at this map right here, there are a handful of lime stations on here, 4 of them to be exact. Now, when you go ahead and take a look at purchasable plots of land, these lime stations do not fall on them, even though they look like plots that you could go ahead and purchase. So keep that in mind. You do have animal dealer here and various sell points along with a handful of the production facilities. One thing that is not on the map is a BGA. So if you want one, you're going to have to put one in yourself. Now, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the pricing on here. Pricing, you do start off with field 35 when you start off on new farmer mode, and that includes your little farm area and the actual field 35. And that actually comes in at $257,000. So that little plot right there is $257,000. Poor little field 58 comes in as the cheapest field on the map at $171,000. Inversely, field 28 is the most expensive, coming in at a cool $2.6 million. Holy cats. Yikes, that's expensive. And as you can see here, there are quite a few relatively expensive fields in here. These are the forestry areas. You have this little plot right here. And as you can see, 2.3 million, 1.1 million, 2.3, 1.6, 2.119. I mean, the field prices are just high. They're very, very high on this map. But I did go ahead and a little bit earlier, this contract has disappeared on field 15. Field 15 comes in at $1.5 million. I did see a contract on here for spraying that paid out $39,000. So even though the fields are expensive, you actually are getting a decent amount for completing contracts on there. So don't let that bother you. This is the only real starting farm location on the map. There's one other area that could be considered that, and that's Field 65. This plot right here coming in at $2.2 million. This on here, there's like an old abandoned farm on there. Obviously, to start off on any of the game modes, you're not going to be able to purchase it. So in order to get this chunk of land and do a role play or a story or something like that, you're going to have to probably give yourself a couple extra bucks in order to get that. But it is kind of a neat little area over there. And as you can see, I mean, you just got field prices that are high all over the map, but high. With that being said, guys, let's go take a look at how this little bad mamma jamma looks like from the ground. All right, guys, there's nothing like going ahead and chilling with a great view and a fan and a bucket of probably ice or something like that. Not too shabby at all. So we are up in the barn at the main farm right here. Let's head on down from here. It's kind of a nice little spot for going ahead and storing your vehicles, doing some repairs, this, that, or the other thing. Before we get too much farther, though, let's go ahead and I'm going to turn the map on so that you guys can kind of follow along with me as we go through this. Now, if you come over here and take a look, you do have your house. There is nothing in the garage, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. You do have your trigger to go ahead and change your wardrobe. You do got this little building over here. It's got a little water pump on it. Nothing really functional about it. It's just there. Now, one thing I do want to point out really quick is if you do start off on any other mode other than new farmer mode, this building is not here. The house is not here, I should say. And then these silo tanks, or these silos down here, these are not here as well. But this is pretty much all you got going on for you. You got your silo, you got your barn, you got your sleep trigger, your decorative building, and that's it. Not a lot. Not a lot by any means. But with that being said, you do have quite a bit of room out here. This part's not so level, but you do have room out here to be able to go ahead and put down extra buildings. Maybe you want to dabble in some animals or anything like that. You do have room, even if you want to put down some extra storage. There's stuff in there for that. So with this being said, this is Field 35 right here. As you can see, even though it's not a small field, it's not large, but it's not a small field either. So I guess when you're taking a look at it that way, the field prices are kind of justified, just a hair, I would say. Let's hop in the truck here for just 1 second. Let's get this thing started. And I think we're going to go ahead and kind of go halfway around the map here. Well, not halfway. Try and get around the map as much as we absolutely can. Now, forewarning, guys, right off the bat here, one of the things that I do like to do is I like to go ahead and drive physically on the fields, cut across the map, go all over the place, mainly because you get a better feel for what the fields actually look like, what equipment you're going to need to buy, how you're going to go about doing your job, what fields to buy, how do you want to do it. So with that being said, let's do it. Oh man, so this is Field 15. This is that one that I said you could get that spraying contract on, and it's $1.5 million. As you can see, it's big and it's hilly. Now, one good thing about this is that by me doing my little investigation prior to hopping on here and doing anything, for the most part, not hard and fast, but for the most part, these are about as extreme as the hills are going to end up getting on the map. There's 1 or 2 spots that are a little bit more intense than this, but for the most part, this is as extreme as the hills are going to get. So, moral of the story is, when you're going ahead and looking to buy land, you probably are going to want to head out to the fields first prior to doing anything. because you may end up needing to upsize your horsepower just to be able to complete whatever task you want. This is what I wanted to show you here really quick. As you see, this looks like a nice farm location to start to get yourself rocking and rolling. And there's the lime tank right there. So this, like I said, this is one of those locations that it looks like you can go ahead and purchase. It looks like it would be a nice little farm here, but it is not a purchasable chunk of land. Like I said, I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys that right off the bat so you kind of knew what I was talking about. So let's continue on over here, and as you can see, again, the hills are not bad, but they're intense enough where you may want to look at upping your horsepower just so that you can go ahead and handle doing the tasks that you need to do. A lot of big fields here, lots and lots of big fields here. I know on the map it's very, very misleading because it definitely does look like, oh, there's just a bunch of little plots here, little field here, little field there. But as you can see, it really is kind of intense when it comes to field sizes. You're gonna need big equipment on here. We'll make sure we go over and check out our small little field 58, and we'll see that as being the smallest field that there is out there. I wanted to stop up in this area right here because this is one of the, well, it's a plot of land, but it's multiple plots of land. I should say one forestry area, but it's multiple plots here to be able to purchase. And this is exactly what the rest of the forestry pretty much looks like on this map. You'll go through these little dense portions. You have a mixture of large trees, small trees, medium-sized trees, and that's just what you got. You kind of have some paths just by the, I'm going to say, natural way the trees are in here, just kind of strewn all about. But with that being said, I think you're still going to want to go ahead and kind of cut a path to get through there. Cut down a tree or two here and there, and you should be able to get larger vehicles, larger trucks, even anything that you want, like your semi-trailers if you're hauling your trees in and out. You shouldn't have much of an issue getting back in there, none whatsoever. Maybe a little bit with some of the hills, but that'd be about it. You just don't want to roll anything then. And this is the other side of things here. As you can see here, we've come over to. Ooh, I'm sorry about that, guys. I had to stop. I had a massive sneezing fit. Oh man, there's nothing like the springtime. Oh boy. Anyways, as you guys can see here, we got some bigger fields up over here, and the land is a little bit flatter. That's what I was saying, is that you may want to head out and take a look at the actual plots before you go ahead and just purchase them, because you have the cash to be able to purchase them. Definitely want to take a closer look at everything that you got going on here. As you can see, we do have some of the roads that are pretty narrow, and they are quite covered, so you're going to want to make sure that when you're going through this that you are really paying attention to what you're doing. Otherwise, you might end up getting yourself smashed a little bit. So here is one of the areas here where they have a couple sell points. You got your factory right here. Sterling Surprise. Pretty neat. Pretty darn neat. I like it. Let's head back on out, get ourselves rocking and rolling as we head closer to a main area, the town, if you will. And again, you can see big fields, wide open. This area is fortunately relatively flat, so if that's kind of what you're going for, you can go ahead and do that. Alright, so right here, field 58. This is your cheapest field on the map. It really isn't big at all, is it, guys? It really isn't big at all. Let's go ahead and take a look at this really quick here, because I want to just double check this. 58, 58. Okay. So 58 actually includes this corner right here. So if you wanted to, this isn't that bad of a space. Let's go like this. I don't know if this is going to be able to work or not, but let's check and see if we can sell this. Oh, we don't own this plot. Give me just 1 second. All right, so we cannot demo this building right here. That was worth a shot. It was worth a shot trying to be able to demo it. Now that we've purchased it, can we open up anything? Yeah, I didn't think so. But it would be not a bad spot if you wanted to get yourself rocking and rolling. A very affordable spot, I should say, to get yourself rocking and rolling, especially if you want to start off in one of the other modes. So that is definitely an option right there. Another option that I want to point out, and this is one that I missed, there is this section right here that encompasses this triangle and that tower looking thing. Not really sure what that is. Artwork or something? I don't know. But you have this area here that you can go ahead and purchase as well. And that area right there is actually, oh, where the heck are we? Right here. So this actually goes all the way up through here to this barn looking thing. So this could potentially be another spot if you want to go ahead and get yourself rocking and rolling. Not too shabby, but like I said, really just, there's just not many spots that you could actually consider really starting farm locations where you can throw up a barn, or in this case, just make room for this stuff, get it out of your way to do what you want to do. That's what I was getting at more or less when I started this off, saying, hey, there really isn't any place to go. There are some, but it really is just hit or miss, and in this case, it's kind of an inconvenience having those other places on there, but still doable if that's what you want to do. I think we're gonna have to turn around here. Got myself going the wrong direction. I guess, you know what, this will give me an opportunity to hop on out right here. Turn that off, hop on out. Let's come on over here and click on this, maybe reset the vehicle. Perfect. Reset the vehicle right back over here. Enter, and we are at the shop. So this is where if you want to go ahead and purchase anything or reset your vehicle if you have an incident. We all know what we're talking about. We've all been there. And this is where you can get yourself rocking and rolling again. Not too shabby at all. Not too shabby at all. Let's continue on going around here. Let's get ourselves rocking and head across the map here, because we're going to keep, well, let's, oh boy, watch out for that. We're going to keep on going around here for a little bit. But one thing I always want to point out to you guys, we're going to be kind of having this stuff. Hopefully it doesn't blend together to you, because I do realize that we are running into a spot here where you do have a bunch of these little bits and pieces where they are kind of looking all similar, but they are very different by the way things are set up, by the way things are laid out. You would definitely have to reimagine how you want to go about doing things. It's not just, all right, well, I can go ahead and do this and I can rock and roll. No, this map here is actually set up in a fairly decent way to be able to go ahead and do multiplayer. Maybe not everybody having their own farm type of multiplayer, but multiplayer where everybody's working together for the common good, for the betterment of the farm, if you will, with me, please. Oh, man. But yeah, as you just drive on out here, you got just acres and acres and acres of farmland. It is super, super cool to see all of this just wide open. And the cool thing is, even if these fields here are not, well, if they're too big for you, you can always just cut them in half, make them into smaller fields. Or if you want to, they're not big enough, go ahead, plow them together, make them your own. Holy cats, I tell you what. I tell you what, pretty darn slick. I think we're going to come up here and take a look at this building up here and gather our wits for just a second, because like I was saying, when you go ahead and jump on this big fields, big equipment, you're probably not going to have any issues driving around town, taking care of things. You're probably going to run into more issues when you're getting out to these little areas like this where they're kind of overgrown and beaten up and almost halfway abandoned. There's a lot of these types of buildings here on the map where they're older, halfway falling apart. You got some of the old barns that are just dilapidated and the whole 9 yards. So I think at this point, guys, if you will, let's take a second. We'll fly up into the sky and take a look at this map from up above. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and fly up into the sky here for just a minute and take a look at this. From up here, you really have the ability to gather everything that you got. Take it all in. This is a massive map. It is very, very big, and it definitely has that intensity. Well, a challenge. It has that intensity of being just a big challenge, if you ask me. Seeing all of this right here, it is super intense to think that, gosh, some of these fields here be pretty crazy to try and tackle yourself. Now, maybe I'm just a weakling when it comes to playing farm sim here, and maybe I too prefer the small tractor from time to time. But to me, it is one of those things where, like I said, it really just it really is pretty darn neat. And I did want to come over here and touch base on this, because this is that one chunk of land that I was talking about where it looks like it's abandoned. It's 2.2 million. You got this large field right here. You got this dilapidated building right over here. Nice little roundabout. You have a plot for water. And then if you come on over here, you do have an old abandoned barn. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Kind of a neat little setup right along the edge. You possibly could go ahead and make some roads, but all in all, pretty darn slick. I do like that area right there. And as we kind of continue on, you can kind of, let's actually drop back down just a hair. You really can see some of the undulations, the bumps, the bruises in the map. Like I said, it's not very, very hilly, but it does have some hills. It does have some tweaks. It does have some bruises in here, but nothing really, really extreme. That's probably about as extreme as you're going to get, is that hill right there. And it's not even on one of the larger plots. So all in all, guys, this is intense. This is a very intense map. Like I said, maybe it's just because I'm a weakling and I like doing smaller fields, smaller equipment. But I can definitely get behind the appeal of jumping on something like this, working together with a bunch of friends or even enemies, to be said, and just rocking and rolling, trying to get fields plowed, harvested, cultivated, fertilized as efficiently as possible, working together as a well-oiled machine. Yikes. I could get behind that. I really could. All in all, I think this is done pretty darn well, I'd have to say. And if you guys could, go ahead, comment down below. Let me know if this is your style. If you were to jump on here, what would you rather do? Would you rather go it alone, or would you rather do this with a friend? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. And if you guys are liking what you're hearing, liking what you're seeing, go ahead and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Help the channel out. Hit that subscription. Holy cats. Turn the notification bell on and have it set all that way you know when this and other great videos are coming out by myself. Go ahead and share this with somebody who likes big maps, big fields, big equipment. You know what I'm getting at. You betcha. You betcha. And until we get to the next point, guys, where we get to talk again, I'm saying it because I want to, not because I have to. Thanks for stopping by.